Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So, Mattel gave us these really cool ThunderCat figures like this Lion-O right here, and it is great. I love this figure, but they stopped making them before they made all the characters. And one of the characters I really wanted to make was Mumm-Ra. So I decided I was going to buy a Mumm-Ra figure like this one right here and try to alter it. And my thoughts were to take this Mumm-Ra figure and maybe mix it with a He-Man figure like maybe this one right here. And their colors are kind of close, and then I could probably use that to make a really cool figure. And I was looking at the feet and all the other parts and thought, you know what, that is a lot of work to make that work right. And I just kind of gave up hope and gave up. Then I saw this guy online, Whyte, and he made a Mumm-Ra figure by mixing one from the Bandai 2010 figures and this one. And I thought, hey, that'll work great. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And so let's open this one up. Now, on the back right here, you can see there's some other figures coming. And the cool part is we'll be able to use some of these other heads, like maybe her head will be a great one to use by mixing some Masters of the Universe figures, classics, and then also his head too. So those will be pretty easy customs as well, and maybe even this one as well. So I'm looking forward to getting those three and making the customs out of those as well. Of course, we already got him, so that's cool. So let's go ahead and open this up. There we go. Oh, they got tape or something on there. Oh, they glued it. I see what they got going on here. All right, comes with the weapon. Here's the figure. And there he is. So the parts I'm going to steal from this figure are the cape itself and the head. So first things first, let's go get some hot water and heat this head up and pull it off. All right, I got my hot water. Let's go ahead and stick them in there. And you can see him sitting inside that glass of water. I got the water up above his head, and that should work pretty good to just let that soak for a little bit. So let's talk about the other figure. So you can see in this graphic right here that here's a figure and his head's like really bean-sized, small head. There's no cape on him. He's got the cool rags flying everywhere. And if you look at down by his feet, we have the feet are actually gold to kind of match the legs in front instead of white that we see on the other figures. All right, back to the head. So let's see if we can get this head off of there. Well, not quite hot enough. Oh, his arm fell off. Only because it's hot. The arm doesn't break that off that easy, so. There we go. There's his head. Now it's off. There's my headless guy. So, now, let's take a look at this figure here, and this is our Mumm-Ra. And you can see that next to Lion-O, it just looks ridiculous with the head size difference. I mean, it looks crazy. Now, this is actually the one I've already modified, so he has his cape already on. I've already changed the rags, and I've already painted the bottom of the feet to match. Well, let's go ahead and walk through the process that I did to do this. So let's pull this guy's head off. You can see how small the small little bean hole is on there. It's pretty small, and so I'm going to have to modify the head to fit on there. So if I just stick this head on there the way it is, it's just going to sit way up on top, and it's going to kind of float on there, and it's got like a huge spot between his neck. So to modify this, what you want to do is get a Dremel tool and use the sanding barrel first and sand out this part of his neck right here. Careful not to hit that metal part there, which really isn't metal, it's just painted gold. This part of his neck, and then sand around this right here along the back, and then make this hole wide so it fits inside this curved area here, and then deeper. And then once you have it all shaved down to fit, I find it works really good to take 2 small O-rings. I use the same rings I used for the inside of the legs of the Classics figures. So go to he-bro.com and look how to tighten the legs on a Classics figure, and it's the same size O-rings. And I just put it in just like that. So here is the new, with the sanded out with the O-rings. Now the next thing is notice the color difference. So if you stick this head on here the way it is, it's very blue compared to the rest of the body. Kind of a bluish purple, and this is kind of like a greenish color. So to fix the color, all I did was get some of this yellow wash, and I just put this yellow wash on, dabbed it on. First I cleaned the area with alcohol, got it really clean, then stuck this yellow wash on there. Then after the yellow wash was put on, I then put a clear coat of paint over the top of it. So let's pull this off. Now while I have it off, I want you to look at the cape right here. So what I did was, on this cape, I very carefully heated it up again, ripped it off the back of the figure, and then took some scissors and cut it right there where it connects on both sides to leave the pin on there. So here's the one I pulled the cape off, and you can see how it was hooked on there, where it has the holes where the cape went right here and here, and then on top where it fit into those holes on top as well. So I'm not going to take the cape off this one because I want to keep a figure it actually works. But let me heat this arm back up to put it back in, and the head back up to put it back on, so I can rebuild this figure back the way it was before I ruined it. And then once I got the O-rings added, I can then just pop this on at will. Oh, the cape, that's right. So the cape, I put some super glue on the tips, on the underneath, and all the way around here, and stuck it on there and held it in place. Just let it glue right on there. And that way then the cape could fit right on there. And the head just pops right on with those O-rings. And then I masked off his feet and painted those parts that were gold, white. I kind of mixed white, burnt orange, and just a drop of brown, mostly white, and then stuck it on there. So I don't know if you can see, it's not pure white. It's got a little bit more color to it than just that. Alright, and that's it. That's all there was to making this Mumm-Ra. Pretty easy, not a lot to it. And instead of this little beanie head, oh, and look, you can see how the color matches better. His face after using that yellow wash on it. That's here. Let me get the old head out of here so you guys can see the difference. So you can see the difference in the coloring. Alright, let me fix this guy back to normal. Ugh. That way I can have my small Mumm-Ra too. Alright, so after you're done, here's what you have left over, this Mumm-Ra missing pieces, and here's the results, and here's how he looks next to Lion-O. How cool is that? So, that's how you make a quick, cool Mumm-Ra. Didn't take a lot of time, as you saw. The trick is getting that yellow wash and on the face, and then just being slow and cautious about taking the parts off. Way cooler than this small little bean head. Alright, you guys, that's all I got. Subscribe, like, share with your friends, and I will see you next video. Oh, something else too, I almost forgot. I also took this weapon here, and it fits in his hand if you put it on the top first. Oops. His hands are interchangeable with other pieces. So, put it into his hand first, and then just rotate it into place. And it is a really tight fit because his hand is so monstrous, but it does work without altering it. So you can then use it to slice and chop and fight, and then you can have some serious battles going on. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next video. Bye now.